Joe, round one's over. First week of Supercoach, all that preparing kind of went to bed after the first couple of games. I know myself, I did a few changes, and I reckon you probably have too as well, right? How you doing? Happy Monday, and mate, as Harry says, let's go.
Let's go, boys. Yes, no one's sleeping now at this time, so I can actually talk without whispering into the mic like I did on last night. I hope you guys are honestly, the amount of engagement I had on that video,
Oh,
insane.
mate,
We're like
it's still
getting
going.
up to like to 50 comments on that video. I absolutely love doing this, and even if I don't do incredibly well, sharing with you boys and girls, of course, the discourse, obviously answering your questions and the comments and things like that. Absolutely unreal. Believe me, I wasn't depressed when I recorded the video. I was just keeping it down to not wake anybody up. But we're up and about today. We're going to be going through all of the games because we haven't obviously discussed those games and whether or not some of that late night recording that we did last night, if we've cooled the jets a little bit and having slept on it, can give you some next day advice.
Mate, I know it's a little bit off topic, but another person who's up and about is the bloody Tasmanian team. I don't know if you've just seen this, but Tassie's got a team. They've got, their logo now. They're called the Tassie Devils. The uniforms come out. I know a few people in George's Discord, if you guys are watching, have gone and bought the jersey as well. So, mate, congratulations to them, and here's to the future. Really, it's going to suck when we hate playing these best 18 buys. We might get a best 18 buy forever, for at least the next couple of years when 2026, 2028 or something comes around, and it's going to be 19 teams playing.
Look, I'm happy for him, but that is such a shit jersey.
No, it's not. It's not the logo. If you have a look,
the logo is the Tasmania Devils, right?
Yeah,
I get that.
See, I'll take that.
Yeah, but this jersey is shit. Like, why would you just have the island with a T on there? Like,
I thought the picture was actually the picture. It actually has an island with the T on it.
Oh, yeah, I don't like it. I don't like the logo is sick. I'd much rather like if the logo was the thing, like similar to like the West Coast Eagles, for example, or the Hawks, how they have like the hawk. Like, this is an animal. Why would you not use the animal on the thing? Like, why would you
maybe they'll change it closer to the maybe they'll change it closer to the team actually coming around. So I
honestly think it's a real shit looking jersey, and I'm glad I'm not the only one to think so. Aiden Staff, how's it going, Aiden? He hates the jersey. Cheese, love the logo, hate the jersey. Yeah, I mean, like, I think a lot of people might be on board. I get it, they're the Tasmania Devils. They're representing the entire state. So they're going to have the entire state on there. But I honestly think the jersey, 100% legend. 100% that I could have done better. There was no effort put into this jersey. It is so bad. Oh, my God. I thought the Giants one was pretty bland. Literally just the G. But that at least looks classy. With this color scheme, it doesn't look good at all. I'm sorry to say. Congrats to Tassie, but my commiserations. That's a really shit-looking jersey. T is for terrible. You said it, Jonas. You said it, bro. Right. Could have had the devil with the map behind it. True. Like, anything to use the logo. Like, the logo actually looks sick. I think they missed a trick not using a devil in there.
I would have done it the other way. I would have had Tassie Devils as the face, and then you can put the T up in like the breast side. Just swap the two, have a big animal on the front. Like, what kid is going to buy that and wear it at school? Oh, you've got a T on your jersey.
It's like the big V, but worse. It's literally the big V, but worse, because it's not even a big T. It's a little T inside of Tasmania. I don't know, man. I think we might be talking a lot about this thing, but look, congratulations to the Devils.
They've got a while anyway.
Devils are going big one in the middle, and even a swap like that, but it might be a bit hard to see the actual Devils logo due to the color all being the same. It probably needed to be not that color for the jersey in order to have the contrast with the Devil itself, unless the jersey was this mustard color, I guess. If the jersey was the mustard, so that you could see the Devil more clearer, perhaps. I don't know. But I definitely think they could have done a lot better with it, but they didn't. Tassie tosses, and they have the big T to prove it. Well, we're still waiting for the stadium to come out. At least the AFL is happy. Dill's happy. Freaking Richo's happy. And as long as Richo's happy, I think most of us can be happy. So let's get around them. Well done, Tasmania. I think we've spoken about this a bit long enough. This is, of course, going to be a Super Coach stream. And as we highlighted from the top, we are going to be going through each of the games as we hadn't done a video about them. So here we go, guys. Let's start with the first one. The Blues hanging on by a thread against the Tigers, who unfortunately had injury after injury. And the unfortunate one really was Josh Gibcus going down with the ACL before halftime. Thoughts and prayers with him in this really difficult time.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one. We hate it for Supercoach because it falls as a trade, but just for the player himself, I'm not sure if it was the same knee as what he's had other injuries on as well, but yeah, it has not looked good, and it's really compounded this thing. Round 0, round 1, I think we've had 4 or 5 ACLs, quite a few like hamstring injuries as well. I don't know if it's the heat that's kept people away, but yeah, it's really, really unfortunate. There you go. My team has a potato.
I love it, Globes. I love it.
I hopefully ended up scoring all right. Really, really tight affair here. Carlton definitely got picked up by a few of their older people, and it's really nice to see the likes of Harry and Mackay starting to go big. I know that myself and a few other people are really considering doing some shadiness and bringing him in after round 3 because not sure how many not sure how many midfielders are going to get DPP early. There's a lot of really good key forwards this year, Joe, that are going bang.
I'm not surprised. It's a new start to the season, and everyone always tends to start pretty slow as they build into the season. So it's not too bad. I think key forwards tend to pop off early in the piece when defensive structures haven't really solidified. People aren't used to covering the ground and defending the ground at rapid pace like they would as they get used to it. And we saw, for example, and you can just compare the games, the players that played the week before compared to the players who didn't. Their defensive structure was so much better and they had a real advantage. So I definitely think that starting all of these key forwards was the right play. And I think I might be doing that next year for my starting team, especially the ones that have a really favorable start to the season. Obviously, like, Hogan, for example, Mackay, kicking big bags early on. So I think that's what I'm going to be looking at doing next year. But, what? Cheese! Cheese! What have you done?
Cheese! What are you doing, mate?
Much
Thank
love,
you very
brother.
much, Cheese. Saying you're not super coach. Yeah, go for it.
But I think Big J knows that Harrison Jones and Cox are having an affair with the coach and is forcing Brad Scott to play them. Hashtag up the Dons, though. Hashtag miss you, Massimo. Bro, you would have seen me in my video. I said it. Massimo was playing and I was crying. Why did we let this guy go? He was everything we needed, and he absolutely tore us a new one. Cheese, look, at least Dodoro's gone, and we're not going to have those ridiculous issues anymore. But much love to you, brother. You really did not have to do that so early in the piece. Thanks for your continued support all the time, bro. Honestly, you're a superstar.
Yeah, it sucks when like those type of players leave. Those fringe guys that come in and cool, maybe they get a spot, maybe they don't. Maybe like a Nick Hind or a few of these other players have come in and are keeping them out of a continual spot in the team. Obviously, Massimo's kind of left, and then the kid had a blinder. We'll definitely talk about him in a couple of games' time. But
Yep.
Like, I hate when your players leave like that, Joe. When Lazaro or someone else goes to another club and starts popping out 35 possession games, I'm gonna be so sad.
Yeah, it will suck. As Ian says, with every team trying to play quickly, it gives the big forwards a chance.
Yep.
Exactly.
And
100%.
I think Ruckman in general, I'm not sure if Squadfather had mentioned it or seen it on Twitter, but Ruckman in general, I think, are dropping in scoring a little bit. We had that period of time where contested possessions and just congestion was the way it went, whereas now players are just running so fast that there might only be like 10 or so ruck hit outs like in a quarter. And yeah, rucks have gone down in scoring, but key forwards and other players have just gone back up. And it's great for us that picked Hogan this week.
Yeah, 100%. Well, speaking of Hogan, Jonas is asking, he's got a break even of -46. Is he a must-have because he's going to make 150K real quick?
It's a tricky one. I've had a look at his fixture, and yes, he does have the bye in a couple of weeks, but outside of that, his run for the first 7 or so games is really good. And something I mentioned in my team review was that Hogan doesn't have to be the big key forward at GWS. They've got Brown, they've got Cadman, they've got Riccardi in there as well. All three of them can play that role. And you'll see a lot of Jesse Hogan's ball is actually used as that high half forward guy that will kick it into those players that might take away a defender, do a spoil, that kind of thing. So, I mean, if he keeps up the form, he could, you could keep him for a majority of the season, to be honest. He's not a cash grab for me straight away, but yeah, if you want a lot of cheap money, it's definitely worth a think about. Just don't break the bank to do it, really. Yeah. I should have done some other things as well to start the team, but yeah, I was very, very happy with Hogan this week.
Yeah, 100%. But in this game, well, let's talk about this game because no one's really talking about this game because there really aren't too many relevant players. So I guess we'll quickly rocket through it. No one really relevant. Josh Kipkis is out for the year, so he's going to have to trade him out. Whether or not he's the one that you trade out to get Mass, I think is a very fine play. But he could be someone that you downgrade, for example, to a Marty Hoare if you haven't got Hoare, or to a Howes or a Caulfield. Yeah. So Kipkis, there's a number of different avenues that you could go from this as a selection. But if you had Seth Campbell, you're not going to be happy with that one either.
No. And a few other players like Thompson Dow obviously scored the 30-odd last week. Came back with a 67, but not really relevant in Supercoach. Same with Tom Lynch. There's a lot of other better players for around the same price. That's really it from this team. It kind of sucks that Sam Naismith really didn't get picked. And then, Jaden Short. So we had talked about before, and I have mentioned it many, many times, that Jaden Short is a 95 average player. We saw it last week, did a similar thing. This week, he basically scored the same as what he did last week. So unfortunately, it's bit of a tricky one there.
I would sideways. I would say that I would sideways it, bro.
Get rid of him. Chuck him in the bin. Cop the loss. Swap it over. Sheasel's a gun. Doesn't even have an early buy. He's very, very good. Who did you like from Carlton, Joe?
I was really happy with. Where is he? Where's the young boy? Where's the young man?
Number 16. You just missed him. Above Hollands.
There he is. I'm blind. Jack Carroll. I liked his game. I was a little bit sad that he was on the bench so much early on in the piece, but he is so strong over the ball. He just has this really cool way of almost hovering around where the ball is. And then as soon as he sees that it's up for grabs, he will go for it, immediately lift his hands up to get his hands free to chuck a handball out. I don't know. It almost reminded me very much of Will Brodie a couple of years ago. Yeah, 100% cheese. Jackie Carroll, he looked wonderful. And I know his score was 74, but I was rooting for this kid so badly. I actually had him on my field. I thought he'd have a very good matchup with the Tigers. I know I went early on him, and you're not really supposed to go early on rookies. But I just rate this kid so highly. I know they rate him highly as well. Some good contested possessions as well to his name. Seven contested possessions. So I like him a lot, and I think he's done enough, really, to hold his spot in the team. Even if Sammy Walsh comes back, I reckon this guy will at worst be the sub And given that he has a really low break even, I reckon he is one that many of you should be looking to get in either this week, if you wanted to have a loophole, or next week.
Yeah, 100%. It is really this week or next week. I know Lukey and Magic Gnome, who might be watching, might not be watching, has considered bringing him in early. I did bring him in early last week, so, for round one. I just really like what he did. He really jumps into the contest. If not, he's kind of that Doherty level player, or the Sam Walsh that is the one that they pass the ball to get the ball out. I saw that in the preseason game and was like, jump on Jack Carroll as much as you can. Really good to get that 75 or 74. So, yeah, very, very happy with him. There's a few others in this Carlton team who I'm very happy with. Congratulations to those people that did pick Cripps. You'd be very happy with the 135. I know a few people did have Harry Mackay, 112, very good as well. And then moving down the list, a few George Hewitts we saw, and a few Zach Williams owners, Joe. So I know the theme at the moment is jump off Zach Williams, go to Massimo, but I think me and you have a bit of a different thought of the position.
100%. I think Zach Williams is one that you hold. He has a negative break even. He's been off. He's been away from the game for a couple of years, and he just needs to build up his fitness and his match fitness. So I'm really confident that this is the flaw, what we're seeing with Williams. I can totally see that as he continues to play, he's going to continue to improve. And I reckon that this is the worst of Zach Williams. And he got a 74 really in Dream Team. So the conversion wasn't great because he had 4 clangers and 53% disposal efficiency. I honestly reckon as he continues to build match fitness, he's going to be able to run out the games more. You'll be able to hit out targets better, as opposed to just blind kicks when you're tired and you're not thinking. You just want to get the ball out of there. I honestly reckon this is the worst of Zach Williams. And I think if you do hold on to him, he comes out of that bye, which I think came at a perfect time for him, because he's gone now. He had no preseason, basically, and then went 80% time on ground against Brisbane, 77% time against Richmond. That bye has come in perfectly. So I think Zach Williams will be much better for the run. Hold on to him, yeah?
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
But as you say, yep. Second week in a row, yeah, 100. It's just the tank. It's just the tank cheese. He'll improve as he gets more match fitness. Hold Williams, he will get better. Yep, exactly. Martin softer than the Prince. Oh no. He's break even -4. No, exactly. Joel, he will lift. He will lift. I am confident of that. Oh, Walsh has had a setback, says Travis. So could mean even better for Carroll then.
Yeah, I know Shaq. I don't know if he's watching, but I said Sam Walsh looks like he was going in for surgery, and Shaq was like, no, Sam Walsh, it's not going to happen. He's not going to get surgery, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it really looks like Sam Walsh is in a bit of trouble. What is it? Second back surgery at like 24. It's really tough. I know I mentioned it to you off air, Joe, that those games last year when Sam Walsh had that tear and was going massive, I can't remember the player, but he got crunched really hard. There was a game there where he was 90 at halftime and then ended up on like a 115. That game, he almost gets decapitated. It looked really bad. And ever since then, his body just hasn't been right. And all the best to him. I wish him all the best. But yeah, it's a tricky one with Sam Walsh. And, unfortunately, it just means that we get some more options in Supercoach, really.
Yep. All right, so that was the Carlton-Richmond game. No one else to speak about, really. We then moved to the next game. This was the Friday night MCG. Collingwood looking to bounce back from a bad loss the week before against the Sydney Swans. But the Sydney Swans had absolutely nothing, didn't want a bar of it. They said, shut up, Collingwood. Sit down. We're about to spank you here. At the MCG, unfurling of the flag. Don't you worry about unfurling of the flag. They unfurled their butt and started slapping him. And every time Collingwood lose, I win. So I'm very happy about that. Great performance by the Swans.
Yeah, it was a very, very it wasn't the game that I thought it was going to be. And Sydney, to all their credit, their list depth is insane. Like losing Parker, losing Mills, losing Taylor Adams, all these players they brought into their side. Their backline isn't the best either. And to come out and just spank like Collingwood at the MCG, very, very happy. Was an interesting one. James Rowbottom, no one had him on their radar. But number 2 on the list, Isaac Heaney. I know I was keen on him. You were keen on him. Half the competition wasn't keen on him. And yeah, looks very, very, very good. Just, all the comments we had spoken about, all these players, pick him. The coach says it's great for Supercoach, blah, blah, blah. But at least Horse has come out and said Isaac Heaney's going to play mid. Hey, guess what? Isaac Heaney played mid and did very, very well, Joe.
Mate, he best on ground. Honestly, he's had best on ground 2 weeks in a row. This dude's on 600% cheese, 100%. Get around him. Stuff you, Collingwood. Hope you cop it up, you bloody ass. Even Globes, slap that frozen pie ass. That can get stuffed. I hate Collingwood with a passion. Bring on Anzac Day. Mate, we're in with a chance. But yeah, no, Isaac Heaney, bro. Honestly, like even if he loses the midfield mix, the fixture is so good. Still to come. He's got Richmond, Essendon. Essendon first. Essendon first, then Richmond, then West Coast, all before his bye. So this guy's a keeper.
Yeah.
And that was the reason why we selected him at the start of the year, because he's going to be a keeper. And thank God we picked him. Is all I can say.
Another player from the Swans team that did do very well was big number 17 there, James Jordan. And if you were in George's Discord, I'm sorry, guys, because I wish I had kept James Jordan in my team. At the moment, he is in my side. I'm very, very happy because he's running the midfield. He was just everywhere. Same thing that happened at Melbourne, but also in the first preseason game. He doesn't look like he does a lot, but then he does a lot and his score goes up. Sydney, as you say, Joe, have a lot of very good midfield matchups over the next couple of weeks, and I'm very, very happy to have this guy in my team.
Yeah, I know I recorded the video last night in terms of what my plans were going to be, but this guy is a really important priority for me. I do need him in, and I do need Billings in, and I do need Sheasel in. So these are 3 must-haves for me, and Mass is not on the bubble. So I think I can wait for Massimo, but James Jordan's going to be on the bubble, and he had 50% CBAs on the weekend. 50%. Yep. Now, I know they had injuries in the midfield, which obviously bolstered that up, but he is such a good player. He was on fire. He was on 50 at halftime. I thought I was going to be punished so badly for not owning him. Thankfully, you put the mods on him because of all your complaining.
I had to do something because
thankfully you complained his ear off. You put him off his game with how much you complained, and for that I'm grateful because he's in my side this week. I do need him plus that great fixture. I think if you don't have James Jordan, you're in the minority of like me, for example, that doesn't have James Jordan. I think we need this guy in. So James Jordan, get in my team, son.
There's so many good mid-price players this year. I'll say it again, said it in my team review. We should have stacked the back line, filled our whole team full of these really good mid-prices, but we can't now. We're already spending trades. I'm probably going to spend 6 trades in the first 2 weeks. It is what it is.
Yep.
But make sure that you have some of the good scorers. Grab a Bonner, grab a Jordan, heck, grab a Fife if you don't mind, not worrying about the buy. These type of players are the ones that are really going to help you. If you don't spend up the trade and get them in, James Jordan, the way he's scoring, what is he, an 82 average at the moment? He could be 400K very, very quickly, and that's a lot of money. Him plus a rookie equals a premium. And guys like Dawson, who we'll talk about soon, and a few others, they've had crappy games. They're going to come down to sub 600K mark. It's going to be really hard to miss out on those players when other people are going to be finishing their midfields very quickly. So, jump on the cash gen as quick as you can, especially in the best 18 rounds. It doesn't affect you as much. James Jordan's a freak. I'm very happy to have him.
Yep. Brody Grundy, mate, they're taking turns. him and Grundy and Gorn need to realize they're not on the same team anymore. They don't have to take turns popping off the sons of bitches. Honestly, like Brody Grundy, I should have known this was coming after what we saw last week when Grundy started slow, when Gorn was dominant. Then Gorn goes down with a knee complaint, and afterwards Grundy pops off. Grundy can only go well when his opposition is injured. And I can't wait, come his buy, to trade him out. Bloody hell. I'm not trading him out now because he's too damn cheap, and I don't trust Sherry to last the season. You start the injury risk, you don't trade them in. We've said this all the time, and I'm not going to trade in Sherry. He's been wonderful, Sherry. Wonderful. But because he's injury prone, I can't go there because I'd be a freaking hypocrite if I did. So Grundy, I have to wait for this Man Bundy shit. Yes, Jonas, exactly. I have to wait for Man Bundy to come round to his buy and hopefully flick him off to Rowan Marshall. I really hope Rowan Marshall, for some reason, has a bad day so that I can trade him in, because then I'll have English and Marshall, and I think they're R1 and R2 for the year. So, Grundy, please lift a little bit, please.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure what it was. Maybe it was just getting beaten up by two people. Maybe it was just, an MCG thing and kind of playing against my old team. Maybe they focused him a little bit. I think he does do better when he's got someone else that pinch hits as well, because Grundy came in and basically had to play almost majority mid-time. That first preseason game, I think he did with Laddams and did quite well, just so he doesn't get focused. But if you have a look at Brody Grundy's stats, though, Joe, he's not giving away 7 free kicks every week, and he's not going to have 9 clangers every week either. So take away some of those, he's probably averaging, a 120 anyway. So there is some hope there.
And he's playing us this week at home at the SCG, as G Money says, back at the SCG. I got no problem with obviously holding on to him. I really do need a strong bounce back, and up against Essendon, they're going to kill us this week. They're going to kill us this week. They really are. And I expect Grundy to play a big part of that. I don't know. Are we going to bring back Sammy Draper, who played in the VFL last week? He played the full game and managed to get through it. So I don't know if we're going to go with the 2 ruck setup of Goldie and Draper. I don't know if we're going to do just Goldie or if we're going to do just Draper. I honestly have no idea what our ruck makeup is going to be, because I thought Goldie's been very serviceable for us with his around the ground work, and we smashed Hawthorn in the clearances. But we'll leave that for the Bombers. Which is the next game anyway. But yeah, Grundy, lift, son. Matt Roberts, mate. We're really happy with this kid.
Yeah, I think he's going to end up being a bench option for me, just because there's a few other players who are averaging about 10 points more on our benches, like a Carroll and some other ones. But I was really worried about Matt Roberts. From memory, he started off really slow and then came back hard when the game got a bit more contested. If that's what it's going to be, fantastic. But, I love that kick-to-handball ratio, Joe. And put on some really big tackles too, some almost highlight reel stuff, really stood up. And you could see why he got the rising star last week.
Yeah, I'm really happy with him, and I think he's still definitely very fieldable. He did have some kick-ins, and I feel like a lot of the times when Collingwood missed, he was on the bench to start the quarter. He was a little bit unlucky in that respect, but I do think that, the kick-to-handball ratio was good. He was playing off half-back. He had some decent time on ground. He's clean with the football. I'm really bullish about him, and we've seen what half-backs have done to Essendon in the past, even in the present as well. They continue to tear us apart. I'm very confident about having Matt Roberts on the field this week against Essendon. I reckon he's going to rack up the pill at will. So, Matt Roberts, if you don't have him, you really need to have him. I think if you don't have him, then it's a mad miss.
It's he's on the bye. So he's on the bubble and has a negative 58 break even. Like after this week, the kid's going to be 200K. If you don't have him, you need to put him in your team. And unfortunately, if you didn't start him, it can be quite hard to bring in a player at an inflated price. It's not 123K, he's 156, and some people are going to miss out, Joe.
Well, I hope most of our viewers don't miss out on him, because I think he's going to be an absolute wonderful cash generator for us. I don't think there's anyone else for the Swans worth talking about.
We have a few Heaney based questions here before we head over to Magpies. What do you reckon? Hogan, Heaney, keepers or both?
I definitely think Heaney's a keeper. Because Heaney has done it in the past, where even if he's not playing as a midfielder and he's playing exclusively forward, he's been able to average 95, 94, 94, 96 without any CBAs. So even here, 98 without any CBAs. So Heaney has shown in the past that he's capable of giving us top 6 forward scores. Now, maybe in most years that doesn't count as top 6 because we tend to have like mids still have forward status. But this guy, I think this year, this scoring is absolutely top 6. And as a result, I'm more than happy to believe in Heaney as a keeper. Hogan, on the other hand, as a key forward, you're bound to have some inconsistencies, right? Because you're dependent on goals. But the thing is, he's playing for the Giants, and they're going to win the flag this year. There's a big, big sound from the west of the town, and it's the sound of Jesse Hogan winning the Coleman this year. That's what it is. So they're both keepers at this rate, God damn it.
Yeah, I love it, and I got both of them in my team. Let's check out Pies, Joe. Nick Dacos sucks if you didn't go Nick Dacos, you didn't start him. People were like, "Oh, I'm going to fade Nick Dacos, go antipod." Well, it didn't work. Sorry, 135. The kid's fantastic. 15 contested possessions, 7 clearances. Even turned the ball over a few times and just looks so good. I'm very, very happy. A lot of people would have picked him as their captain, vice captain. I'm glad I picked someone else, but a 135 is still very good.
Oh, I'm glad I did too, because if I had the VC on Dacos, 100% would have taken it. You don't say no to 135, but thankfully I had Tom Green. The green machine, he's not green. He's a green machine. His name is Green. The orange-green machine. I don't know what that makes. But yeah, Nick Dacos, you're really hoping Finn McGuinness tags him to oblivion. Like really hoping.
It's not going to happen. Nick Dacos can go anywhere on field. And cool, McGuinness is going to get tired trying to follow him around. That's what's going to end up happening. Or give away enough free kicks that Dacos slows down a little bit. But yeah. It's a fool's hope.
No one else really from the Pies other than perhaps a Charlie Dean type, right?
Yep. Yeah, so second game is on the bubble this week. Someone to watch out for if you've got a read or someone and you want to do something a little bit different. Obviously, he has a tougher by schedule, especially with Dacos in most people's backline. So someone to put in there, but I mean, he's not going to lose his spot with Murphy out for the rest of the season, basically.
Yep, cool. All right, that's that damn done.
Here we go.
To my boys, my very accurate boys. Like I don't remember the last time we weren't stupid. But I'm very happy that we weren't stupid. We got the job done. Someone who was very stupid, freaking Nick Martin, bro. You broke my heart, bro. You absolutely cut me right in the feels. I've been talking you up all pre-season. I've been singing your praises. I've almost started a new religion for you, is how much I love you. And this is how you repay me. With being unable to hit a target to save your life. It was so bad, I actually started laughing. Like, it was so bad, I just burst into laughter. Like, you couldn't make this shit up. You had like 20% disposal efficiency at quarter time. 20%? Yeah. Bro, Aaron Sanderlands had better disposal of efficiency than that. Like, unbelievable. 93. 93 fantasy to 63 Supercoach. That is absurd.
Where was he playing this week? Do you want to pull up the heat map? Because it looks like the Hawks had 17 behinds, and if he was playing that coveted half-back role, he would have got the ball a little bit more than what he did. Obviously, the 93 AFL fantasy, but just in general, I mean, only scoring a 93 when the other team scores 117 is a little bit worrying.
Right. Exactly, Cheese. He took the first kick in, and it was an absolute dribbler that almost was the most disastrous kick in the history of the world. And yeah, They took him off kicking duties as a result. That was so bad. His heat map, you'll see.
So he was playing backline, basically.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like he starts off half back and then drifts up the ground. Like he had the Nick Dacos role. He had the Nick Dacos role perfectly. The problem was the last step was actually passing the ball to his teammates. That was the problem. He couldn't pass. And to be honest, there were a couple of instances where he was really unlucky. Like he would pass the ball to someone and they just weren't ready for him. Or he'd try to handball the ball to like a freaking, I don't know, Perkins. And Perkins just looks away at the wrong moment and misses the ball. And then he had a bad bounce here or there. Like it was just tragic, Bronson, bro. It was just tragic. What happened to poor Nick Martin in this game? 56% disposal efficiency for the game off 92% talk. Like the tank is there, the roll is there. He had 3 kick-ins. He got a behind. You'd expect with that scoreline that this would have been around 110. A 93 dream team, you'd think would be 110. To be honest,
that's what we needed out of him, because a lot of people now. There's a few people in the chat looking about getting off him, jumping into a Heaney for some extra cash and some, potentially a Hogan and stuff. He has a break even at 122, and it does not look good, Joe. Can we survive? If you have to pitch people to say keep Hogan, do we keep him or not keep him? Sorry, not Hogan. Nick Martin. Do we keep him or not keep him?
To be honest, I definitely believe that this guy is capable of a lot more. And this is not normally what he does. 56% efficiency, 4 clangers is not him. This is an aberration for me. However, I will not begrudge anyone who decides to trade him out. I might be trading him out myself. Now, I know that he is going to improve. He's going to likely bounce back. There's no Mason Redmond next week. We've accepted the 1-week suspension for him. So there's going to be no Mason Redmond next week, which means I anticipate even more ball for Nick Martin going into next week. However, we're playing at the SCG. And the SCG is going to be a bit harder to score at, because I'm pretty sure I read the humidity is going to be in the 70%, which means that the ball is likely to be very slippery.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he was playing with a dry ball and couldn't hit a target to save his life, which unfortunately means now they're playing with an even more slippery ball with more disposals means more clangers. Exactly, skits. And that's what I worry about. I worry that Nick Martin's going to get more of the ball next week, and because the conditions are going to be not suitable, I think that means more of the same. And I don't want more of the same. Yeah. So I think I'm trading out Nick Martin.
Ooh, big call there, Joe. I might have to change some of my plans around. I'm keen to spend 6 trades in 2 weeks, and that might be Nick Martin going the bin the way that the team's going. If you're not keen, you're the Nick Martin preacher, the bomber man. Yeah. I don't think there's anyone else really that relevant from the Bombers team. Obviously, Zach Reed did his hamstring or awareness or something happened, so someone to worry about. We don't care about Setterfield. Someone's got him in the team. Someone's got him in their team, but in terms of Supercoach, not really.
Cheese, I'm taking both of them out, Cheese. I'm taking both of them out. Both Fisher and Martin. I've sort of come to the decision of I don't want players who are so reliant on good disposal efficiency that their points will just completely die if they can't hit targets. And imagine if we have a wet winter and it rains a lot, for example. Conditions aren't going to be conducive to great kicking efficiency. And if these players are going to be so reliant on it, I don't want to take it. I'd rather go with someone who has other avenues of scoring, someone that I think is going to be more safer with contested possessions and with tackles. And Nick Martin's not going to have either of those. And I don't think Zach Fisher is going to have either of those either. So I'm looking to protect myself into the future. Show some faith in your boy. Bro, I showed all the faith in the preseason. I am just an objective person. And I want no one to tell me that I'm biased towards Essendon players. I'm not biased. I am just saying it as it is. I like to consider myself a based baller. I'm based, all right? And I'm here in a position to try and give you guys the best advice I possibly can without clouding my judgment in terms of my decisions, all right? So I'm not taking shit from these spuds, is what I'm just trying to say. Exactly, Cheese. No shit from my spuds, okay? I really hope so too. Hoops, because if he pops off, it means the Bombers are popping off, and I'm still happy. If he pops off, it means the Bombers are popping off, and I'm still happy. But he's not going to be in my Supercoach team.
Oh, there you go.
Jumps off the train that quickly. Shut up, Zach. I've sort of tried to explain it. Go. Come at me. Tell me why I'm wrong. Go. Tell me why I'm wrong, please.
Heading over to the Hawks now. I thought the Hawks played really well, and there was a few players in the team that are Supercoach relevant, or some ones that people should be looking at and talking about. D'Ambrosio obviously is flavour of the day, and if you don't have him in this week, wait a week and get him in next week, because 122s are really hard to back up, and it's going to kill his cash gen if he doesn't score like a 70 plus to kind of help that out. So just something to worry about. It is best 18. Don't expect 100 from him every week. Moving down the list, Weddle, not Supercoach relevant for his score, but definitely relevant because he affected some other players, Joe.
Yes. Mass looked wonderful. Mass looked absolutely wonderful. And he was pushing really hard into defense, deep into defense. And even when under immense pressure, he still managed to hit targets left and right. He just looked like he really felt comfortable playing for the Hawks. Looked like he fit in perfectly. Really felt like he belonged. And the way he kicked the ball, I think, was really different to the way Nick Martin kicked the ball. Yes, Nick Martin had a lot of clangers to his name, but I just felt like there was so much indecision in the way he was playing compared to Mass. Mass just attacked the ball so perfectly, very clean, ground level, nice handballs over the top. I loved his game. 13 contested possessions as well, if you don't mind. Mass is going to be 100% in my team. I've got other concerns I need to worry about this week, but he's going to be in my team before the bubble pops next week.
Yeah, same for me too. I think unless he comes out and scores like a 10 next week, he's kind of a must-have with that. And I think just as well, what we've spoken a lot off air about our defense kind of getting a bit shady and kind of, all the players and stuff not being really relevant in Supercoach anymore. Yeah, if you can get a few more of these 200K players, we know how influential they were last year. Carl Amon did all right for what we saw, Joe.
Yeah, Carl Amon did all right. I didn't think he had a particularly awesome game. Definitely supplemented by that big long bomb outside 50 where our players just went to sleep and sort of let him waltz in and kick that goal. So Carl Amon, yeah, I don't know. I definitely think there are better options around the price. We saw a point share with Weddle, and that was our concern all preseason in relation to, once we heard that Josh Weddle, for example, was going to be playing off half back, what's the split going to look like? Well, they're points sharing between the two of them, plus Mass as well. So there's quite a few people using the ball outside 50, plus Impey. You know what I mean? Like there's so many ball users coming out of that back line for the Hawks. There's just too much point sharing. And so for me, Carl Amon is a no.
Yeah, no, definitely true. Moving down that list, someone else who's also a no is James Sicily, Joe. We told people don't pick Sicily. People still pick Sicily. Now you're complaining about picking Sicily. We'll be able to get him at 500, maybe even sub 500K in a couple of weeks, and yeah, it's going to be great fun.
Jeez, James Sicily. I made a joke when I was watching this, and I was talking in a group chat. I thought, bro, they need to activate Finn McGuinness to tag James Sicily to stop him from turning the ball over and to stop him from going more negative. He was so bad, James Sicily. Oh my God. We knew there was going to be regression, but to this extent, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. This guy might not even be top 8 defender, bro, let alone top 6. If this is what's going to keep happening. So, nah, man, I can't wait to get him in for super cheap down the track. And Nick Watson, we've said this, small forward playing for a bottom side, not going to say bottom of the ladder, but a lower level team, small forward, you just can't pick him. He missed 3 shots on goal. This could have been a much better score, obviously, but alas, not to be. He's too inconsistent.
I think there's just other people as well who are kind of a little bit ahead of him. A few more taller players and whatnot. I was going to make it just short people joke.
Yeah. All right. Because we're not going to talk about this anymore moving forward. There is a bunch of people still talking about Nick Martin. Okay. Yep. Now, Harry Freeman. Do I trade Nick Martin, Luke Jackson, or Grundy?
Probably not Grundy. Probably not Jackson. Nick Martin potentially, but you can always wait till next week. Wait till you get the assessment of how much he's going to drop in cash by, because you would hate to drop him now and then he comes out with like a 110, which potentially could happen. So just something to think about there.
Need a meteorologist to help pick the team. It's true. The weather plays a massive role for fan content. It really does. Spoke about that one. Cheese, I've never seen him butcher it like this, Joe. He's been one of our better kicks. I just can't. Bro, I know. But the thing is, we sort of saw something similar in the preseason game. If we go back to AFL and we go to the archive and we look at the preseason game where we lost to Geelong, okay? Now, let's just go back there. Now, we'll see that he had a great score in this game, right? He had 109, 28 disposals, but he also had 4 clangers there as well, right? Now, in preseason games, and he also, he kicked goals. He kicked 2 goals, right? And 4 clangers, 75% efficiency. He's getting more clangers. Now, does that coincide with him getting more of the pill? Obviously, if you have the ball more, you're more likely to turn the ball over. Yeah, that's correct. But is he going to be kicking goals every week to supplement it? Probably not. Is he going to take 11 marks every week to supplement it? Again, probably not. So this was a preseason game, and preseason games tend to be more outside, tend to allow you to score a lot better. And when we look at his output on the day, Nick Martin, he had the 6 marks, 2 tackles, 9 handballs. Like, I don't know. He had 4 clangers as well. But the problem is that his decision-making also was iffy, because same number of clangers, but the decision-making was wrong a lot of times. Kicking to a 2-on-1, kicking out into space, and he just didn't look the sure, confident Nick Martin that we saw in the past last year. Maybe he needs to take more, maybe he needs more time to build into the role and to get that confidence playing behind the ball that he didn't do last year. But for me, to the eye, it didn't look great. Yes, he had the role, but you need to play the role in order to play the role well, in order to stay in the role and score well. And that's why Fisher, again, I don't think he's going to stay in that role, because I don't think he can play it right. And even if, we say that his ball use was sublime, for example, 73% last year isn't 73% disposal efficiency for the year. I don't know. Is that sublime? 73%? It could be. But I don't think 73% for someone playing a Nick Dacos role is sublime.
No, it's not. And he's going to lose that role if he starts playing off halfback with those poor efficiency and poor ball skills. he's going to lose that position pretty quick. It's something definitely, as I said, to maybe not this week because it's only best 18 as well. It's not going to affect your scoring or anything unless you can get a Billings and a James Jordan or something out of a Nick Martin. But yeah, it's not great.
Looking up the weather. We're looking up the weather for the SCG. All right. When are we playing? When are we playing? When are we? What are we playing Saturday?
Let me see.
I don't remember.
Yeah, Saturday, 7:30.
Saturday. Oh, there's rain. There's rain in the evening, fellas. Oh, mate. Rain in a small ground? Yeah, nah, I can't see that disposal efficiency going well. Yeah. Nah, yeah. I'm sorry. Meteorology has ruled him out of my team. I'm sorry. Meteorology. Blame the weather, not me. Blame the freaking weather, guys. I hate my life sometimes, honestly. All right. That's that. Next game.
Yep.
Your boys this time.
Yep.
Giants and North. Jesse Hogan, spoken a lot about him. A lot of people have asked about him. The guy is a star. I reckon if your team is looking great and you don't need to have too many corrections because you've got all the good rookies, for example, you've got a James Jordan, you've got I doubt you have Billings, but if you're making trades, bro, Jesse Hogan, I like the pick, man. I like him.
Yeah, he's a really good player, and as they spoke about in the commentary and things like that after the game, he just looks like he's gone to another level. He did have 4 free kicks. Don't expect 6 goals every week either. But if you're going to get a 110 average out of him, let's say 2 or 3 goals a week, it's very doable for him to score like a 110 average. So very, very, very happy. As big fan of content says, I love that name. As he says there, Jesse Hogan slowly becoming a must-have. And yes, if he does score well this week, he's going to jump up a lot in money. I was lucky to jump on him. A few people are going to jump on Harry Mackay next week. Potentially, I might do the same as someone who has had his buy already. So watch out. Watch this space, really. But very, very happy. Was used a little bit as that transition player up and down the ground as well. So doesn't just have to stand in the goal square. Tom Green did very, very well, Joe, as our pseudo captain this week.
I love him. He's so good. He is so good. And we said, start him. He's going to be top 8 mid. Forget about the buy. He's worth it. All right? Enough said. About him. Big fan of content, by the way. I hope you're a big fan of our content. And if you guys are as well, please chuck us a like and a subscription if you're new. Hulk Hogan, pick him up for the cash, maybe keep him for the scores. He could be. He's just at that annoying price point, Jonas. He's not like he's a cheap little mid-pricer. He's
annoying or opportunistic, Joe. Like if you've got Zach Fisher, Hogan's only like 30k more. If you've got Nick Martin, Hogan nets you like 90k. It works out all right. It's not terrible. Who I was really impressed with was Lockie Whitfield, and I've slowly been trying to figure out and put him into my team if I can. Just a shame he's going to jump up in price this week.
Yeah, 100%, Aaron. Let's not lie. You only like it. Bro, I didn't even watch that game. I knew we were going to get killed. Hoops, I know I back for the Bombers, but even I have standards. If the boys aren't going to be out there to play, I'm not going to go out there to watch them. It is what it is. I'm sick and tired of coddling these people. They have to lift. And if they're letting Jesse Hogan kick 10 goals on them, then that's their problem. All right? I'm sick of them. I'm sick of them being shit. And if he gets defender status, look, he's looking to drop price before he goes up in price. Hoops. So, you know what? I'll jump off him now. If he pops off and he's a top 6 caliber defender, top 8 caliber defender, I'll get him when he has defensive status. I'm not missing out on anything there, I don't think. Bad luck, Jonas. You bagged the shit out of Tom Green last year, and I'm glad he's giving you some payback this year.
Yep. Yeah.
Lockie Whitfield.
Moving down the list, Lockie Whitfield was very, very happy. I want to put him in my team somehow. He just looks great off that halfback. Him and Lockie Ash just look fantastic. And I think over the next few weeks, he's going to average a 115 the next few weeks. They're just so dominant off that position. Moving down the list, Cadman did very well, Joe. Kicked a couple of goals and showed us kind of why he's in our teams.
Yep, 100%. No doubt. You have to start him. Nice early fixture, pitching in the ruck. All wonderful signs. He's got West Coast this week. He could be a beneficiary.
Jesse Hogan versus West Coast.
Shut up. Oi, all right. Aussie Abroad's asking, what should I do? Nick Martin upgrade to Took or downgrade to Hogan?
If I had to choose, right, I would bank the money and go down to Hogan if I had to choose. If you've got enough DPP to do the swing, I think there's so many good mid-price options this year that missing out on some of them is really going to hurt you in the long run. So downgrade, bank the 90K, and it really allows you to, hey, look, I'm going to jump on a Sam Berry if he goes big. I'm going to jump on a few other players if they go big, or give me some money to be able to almost skip a week worth of having to wait for a rookie to jump up in price. So, yeah, it's a tricky one. But I reckon Hogan versus West Coast is going to be fun to watch.
It's also really tricky because you might have quite a few players from that buy round already. You might have Tom Green, Sam Flanders, Sexton. You know what I mean? Like there's already quite a few players there, but the price, the money he will make you, I think is worth it. And then you can downgrade down to Mackay, and Mackay will then be on the bubble up against these lot, up against North Melbourne. So Mackay could also go on a tear. I'm seriously thinking about it. I wanted James Jordan. I want Billings. I want Sheasel. Unfortunately, we don't have 4 trades this week. So I'm going to have to let go of one of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good players here. I guess kind of Harvey Thomas didn't score that well, so really glad I didn't start him. And sucks for people that picked Kieran Briggs and Harry Himmelberg as well, because they just weren't really around. Tristan Cherry gave Briggs a bath, which I thought was very, very, very interesting there. He was just like, get out of my lane, son.
Man, wish I started him. I wish I started him. He was in my first team. He was literally in my first team, Tristan Cherry.
I have to pass up Grundy going 133 or some silly number.
Yeah, but it's Tristan Cherry, bro. All the signs were there. It just was his body. What happens if you got injured and you had no way out was the problem. Congrats if you had the cojones to go with Sherry. Congratulations. Shees is the man. I'm getting him in ASAP. Shame on me. I'm a freaking moron.
Yeah, when you said, you told me on Discord, you were like, I got rid of Sheasel. He's no good. I'm like, mate, you're in trouble. Harry Sheasel came out.
You are the most. You are.
Harry Sheasel,
the least helpful North Melbourne supporter.
I'm like,
you are the least helpful, most North Melbourne supporter I've ever met. Seriously. I try to ask you about these players. You're a Northman. Tell me, what role is he going to play? Oh, he's going to play a bit of everything. He's going to play everywhere.
He did play a bit of everything, though. He lined up in the middle first, and then he went to halfback, and then he brought the ball through the middle, and then set up some goals in the forward. And that's where he played. I told you he played everywhere.
He's playing between half.
He was getting how many CBAs for Harry Sheasel this week? Go check.
I don't even know. How am I supposed to know?
Tell me.
We'll see.
Harry Sheasel CBA. You got it just there. Search him.
Yes, Big J follows North. Did he advocate for Sheasel at all?
I'd say pick Sheasel. Sheasel is good. I say pick Sheasel. It doesn't pick Sheasel what you want.
He's good, but what role is he going to have? Is he going to be half back? Is he going to eat into... Is Zach Fisher going to eat into him, for example?
I mean, Zach Fisher shit the bed, so didn't look great.
Where is he? Where is he?
All right. He did line up in the middle.
Where
so I don't
he?
know how that works. I don't know how that works. He did line up into the middle at times.
Where are the center bounces for Harry Sheezel? I don't see them anywhere. Incoming. Where are the freaking CBAs for Sheezel?
Right.
I
We'll
don't
get him
see
in your
them
team
anywhere.
if you don't have Sheezel. He's going to be Nick Dacos 2.0, and we're all going to be very, very happy to have him in our team. So
bloody
tuck him
hell.
in there if you don't have him.
LDU, you son of a shawarma. 121. I knew you were going to be good. I knew you were going to be good. Well done to anybody. Well done to everybody who owned him. Tristan Sherrier, superstar. Tom Powell. I know you were pretty big on Tom Powell.
Yeah, I really like his role. We saw in the preseason. I mentioned it a few times on stream and off air and things like that. It looks like he's going to be playing bulk midfield minutes, defensive mid type role, and we definitely saw that in the game. Didn't get as many tackles as what we would have liked, but was used as one of those people who stood back off the contest and brought the ball through the middle. If he keeps this up, he's only 300K, so I'm really looking out for him next week. 95, no early buys could be a real steal for some people. If you you've got a Zach Fisher and you've held him for 2 weeks, he scores some crappy points, you can bet bank 75, 90, set 75K off the pick.
Fair enough. Kobe McKercher. I know a lot of people were a lot of people faded him.
Sad. I was so sad.
As did you.
You complain about Sheezel. I complain about no McKercher. This kid's a freak. He was on 50 points at halftime, and I'm just like, oh, no owning McKercher really sucks. Because there was just patches of play. Like, I don't know what happened with Fisher. Maybe he was made to be a bit more accountable. Obviously, 7 clangs isn't great, but McKercher was just there, and they just passed to him. There was a passage of play, I think, in the 3rd or 4th quarter, where he just got the ball 4 times in a row. Like, it was bring the ball forward, cool, kick to McKercher. Bring the ball forward, kick to McKercher again. I'm just like, mate, why is this guy not in my team at this point?
Yeah.
There you go. As Cheese says, McKercher had 5 touches in a minute. Like, that's how good he is. He can run. He can do everything. Like, just think Zach Merritt off the halfback.
Yes, 100%.
He doesn't handball too, which is fantastic because that ratio is very, very good.
It's very delicious. Very delicious. I find it hard to imagine that you would have Sheezel, but you wouldn't have McKercher.
Yeah, I think
they did. They're very good. They were very good.
I don't know. I'm relishing in the fact that I have Jai Clark on my bench, and now I have to spend 100K to bring him up to Sheezel. Sorry, not to Sheezel.
No, Jai Clark will be fine. Jai Clark will be fine.
In the bin. He's gone in the bin for me. McKercher all the way. He looks good.
All right.
His leap, I think he can jump higher than Biggie Newen and probably Tristan. I think he's one of the tallest leaps in the AFL. Because this kid was just he almost doubled in size how tall he can jump. Really small frame, which probably helps a bit. But yeah, for someone who a lot of the club and fans and other people were saying, oh, he's too small to play AFL. Well, he just got 7 contested possessions, 2 goals, and scored us a 71 in Supercoach. So
very impressive.
Very, very happy with him in the team. Almost like he was pick 3 or 4,
Yeah, exactly. Wardlaw, we've said it, probably wouldn't go there.
He'll be the pick next year. Tom Green, how Tom Green took a couple of years. They'll be the same for.
Correct. So look forward to next year. Not now. All right. Well, we got Callan Dawson. I thought did really well. Off the halfback, I liked him more. I think everyone played a better game than Fisher. Let's be real. Fisher,
Fisher just disappeared as well. Like he had 7 clangers, but he just disappeared. 3rd and 4th quarter, I do not know what he was doing, Joe, but he just wasn't there.
Yeah, stuff him. Stuff him. As Abs Magic, as the Skodfather would say. He ain't a
lot of people are jumping off. A lot of people are jumping off, and you can get some real picks out of that money. So a lot of people are just saying, see you later. You can do a lot.
Fair enough. All right. Moving to the Giants. I think we're respecting on the Giants. We already did. Yes, we did. All right. Next game. Cats v Saints. This was a heart stopper. This was a great game at GMHBA Stadium. Bloody hell, that was wonderful. The Cats got out. All of a sudden, St Kilda came back. Boof, boof, boof. I shot him out of the sky. I'm going to eat Kingfisher for dinner tonight. There you go, Jonas. He's gone. All right. Danger, very lucky. Very lucky to get that free kick at the end, and then he clutched that goal. That shouldn't have been a free kick, I don't think. And congratulations there to him. Very good finish. Clutch. But we're not want to talk about him. Max Holmes, bro. Max Holmes, 112.
Yep. There's a few players. We saw it last year with all the mid prices who are around the 300K mark. Come back again. All these players who are around 490K. There's like 5 of them. Max Holmes looks to be the best one out of the lot. And it's crazy because he doesn't even take some points off Tom Stewart. Like, you could effectively have both or have one of them and not have to worry because Max Holmes is just a freak off halfback.
Yeah, he played the Nick Martin role exactly as Nick Martin should have played it, as Big Fan of Content says. Yeah. Bro, Big Fan of Content.
Because we have Nick Martin and not Max Holmes.
Big Fan of Content. Just start making content yourself, mate. Please, just do it.
Come on the channel and make content.
Yeah, exactly. Ollie Dempsey. Jeez, Ollie Dempsey. I wanted him. I actually had him on my bench, but I dropped him so I could have enough money to go Gibcus to Mass. And now I need him. So Ollie Dempsey, this guy's a gun. We literally spoke about him in the preseason, how amazing he looked. And I didn't pick him. I feel so stupid right now.
Sorry, Joe. Cheese, I think Lazaro gets dropped. That's my personal opinion. If you had Lazaro, get rid of him. I think Simpkin comes back this week or next and Lazaro's in the bin. His game was not very good. All right, keep going. Yeah. Dempsey, I'm looking for a space to put him into my team, but I just don't know if I can fit it. You can't pick everyone in Supercoach. So,
correct.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go. Danger nearly Killstock gets a free kick. There's no... Yeah, 100%. He wasn't trying to win the football. That was a terrible, shocking decision. Yeah, no good. Not good at all. Well done, Ange. Congrats on starting Dempsey. Well, very, very well done. Paul Allen, we get to see Dempsey for one more week. True, exactly right. So it's not a big deal. It's all right. But yeah, definitely want to get him in next week, ASAP.
Yep.
Zach Stewart, what do you think of Tanner Bruin, Joe? Tanner Bruin can GTFO. Really?
Yeah,
honestly. GTFO. Freaking after last year, I seem to have a problem with picking players 1 year before it's their time to shine. So, guys, look at my team this year. Look at who I've started and start
Nick Martin next year is going to be good. Who else is going to be good? Jai Clark's going to be God next year, and there's going to be a few others.
Legit. Every player I start this year is going to be a primo next year. I always pick him 1 year too early, son of a beach. But yeah, Tanner Bruin looked all right. What else is there? No one really else apart from Jai Clark. I'm bullish on this guy. And Sean Manor. But I don't like
either. I think there's like 7 or 6 really good midfield rookies, let alone like guys like Harley Reid who can swing into the midfield and then you can get a Dempsey or someone. You just can't afford it. That 13 has just knocked him off.
Yeah, I don't know. I reckon he's going to bounce back. I reckon he'll bounce back. But if he continues to do bad next week, then obviously, yeah, cull him. Sean Manor, I really hope this guy isn't the sub 1 week and can play out a whole game. If he plays a whole game, he's going to be wonderful. Now, whether or not he will be able to do that or not is a different question. So, yeah,
it's a tricky one.
But Sean Manor,
heading over to the Saints next week. Yeah, heading over to the Saints. I know Joe's getting a bit of hate about all this. Don't pick Riley Bonner talk at the moment, so it's not great. But yeah, Rowan Marshall, fantastic pick, fantastic player. I'm not sure he's going to get 3 free kicks every week, but he's not going to have 68% disposal efficiency either. So yeah, it could work out well. Great to see Jack Steele kind of bounce back for those people that did the gamble on him. I wish I had 30K over Nick Martin. I probably would have done the same. Max King, big week, 115 off 2 goals, 4, which is great. 3 free kicks definitely probably helped that as well. And then Riley Bonner, kind of talk of the town. A lot of people saying he's not going to be any good. No Sinclair, Wanganeen Miller are taking the spots, but yeah, him and Wanganeen definitely did well and both scoring well off halfback for St Kilda.
Look next week. Sinclair's confirmed to play this week, and I think Sinclair has been playing and training off halfback all preseason long. Wait to see how Bonner goes with Sinclair in the side. If he does the same, then yes, get him in and enjoy the ride. There's no need to rush him in. Joe can't get a Bonner, too many other players to bring in. It's just too big. May have started Bonner and Mass. Ooh, on you, Paul. Very nice. But yeah, keep an eye out for him next week. Naz, very nice selection. Yeah. Again, we started him last year and he's popping off this year. Classic. Yeah. Classic. Darcy Wilson, love this kid. Super sensational. 2 goals, 1.
36
you watch
disposal efficiency.
Watch him this week. Watch him this week against Collingwood at the MCG. Believe me, he's going to go over 80 this week. I've called it now. Yep. Nobody else. All right. Lance Collard was the sub.
4 points. Thanks, Lance. Quickly smash through these questions just while we're doing this. Outfish Nick Gibb. Yep, I don't mind that. 2 guys at least that are going to make some cash this week. And then McKercher later. What do we think of Clark? Probably get rid of... Joe likes him. I reckon get rid of him.
One more week. One more week and then decide.
Chuck him in the bin.
All right.
Yeah, cool. Let's go.
Nah, no McGrath. No McGrath Burgeroo. He's a freaking butcher as well. I don't know why we'll give the ball to him. He's such a shit kick of the football. Worst number 1 selection in the history of the game. Okay, maybe not that much. But still, he's not good as a number 1. Very overrated. Don't go McGrath. All right. Gold Coast. Matt Rowell, the dude's a freak. Dad's a superstar. Dad's a superstar? Did I just call him Dad? Yes, Dad. Be my dad. Matt Rowell, you're my dad.
Matt Rowell is your dad.
Matt Rowell is dad now. 155, 29 disposals, 10. The guy could very well be top 8. Scott Father called it early. He looks wonderful. Release the shackles. High center bounces. Dimmer Hardwick is keeping the exact same 4 people in the mids. Rowell, Took, Anderson, Flanders. Any surprise that these are the 4 mids? Every center bounce, it's these 4. They're the top 4. And is it any surprise?
And then winners after that.
Yeah. So these guys are all incredible. Matt Rowell is not leaving center bounces. If not for the bye, I reckon get him in after the bye. Yeah. That's me.
And that's where like a Billings and a James Jordan and a few of these other players who are going to make us some really quick cash early. We can like keep those guys, offload them, Matt Rowell, with the rookie. So yeah, something to look out for. He isn't going to make a lot of cash. I think someone was saying on Discord and things that if he scores like 100, maybe he goes up 30K this week. So it's not a huge amount. But after that, mate, just ride him the rest of the season. He's going to be very, very good for you. If you don't have Flanders, I saw a comment before, Nick Martin to Flanders looks pretty good because Flanders has got the role. He was slow. He was slow early. I'm not going to lie. I was a bit worried because I had started him. Similar to a Sexton, both of them were slow and then just came out of the gates and ended up, pushing for the win there. So very happy. Tom Berry Joe is probably the one that a lot of people should be considering. He scored 104 this week. He scored a 60-odd last week. Negative break-even of 75, as Jonas says here. Looks very good. And I think Dimmer Hardwick put out a tweet just before saying, he looks good. He's pressureful in the position and very, very happy to keep him playing where he is.
High half forward. He's not in the center bounces. He was definitely aided by the conditions. He was aided by the conditions were terrible. People couldn't keep their feet. It was so dewy, slippery. They honestly might have played on it. They basically played on an ice rink. It was ridiculous. So all of the contested ball winners and the tacklers did really well, and Thomas Berry was a beneficiary of that. I personally am not going to go there. I'm not going Tom Berry. If you want to, go for it. I'm not against it. But for me, he's a no. Jared Witts, only 81. Is Took potential for top 8? Bro, Took Miller 100%. Is a freak of nature. 100%. Yeah. He is also someone you look to get him after the bye because he'll still be under 600K, I think. So if you could somehow get both of these guys in your team, you're absolutely laughing, I think, after their bye.
I think the top 8 this year is going to be very there's going to be 2 or 3, and then there's going to be like 8 people that you're going to be able to pick, and maybe even 10. It's probably going to be a really good top 12 this year. Raul and Tuke Miller, if they keep this up, which I can't see why they can't. It's not Stewie Drew trying to change positions around every week. Very, very good.
Exactly, Aaron. Exactly. This is the new Pendles. This is the new Collingwood side. Dimmer Hardwick is spoiled for choice. Sexton, 133K for 63. Okay. He was okay. You just got to have him. The money he'll make is wonderful. Connor Buderick. Thank God. Thank the Lord.
People picked him because he scored like the 90 to 100 last week, and then came out with the 17, so it's not great. Moving over to Adelaide, Rory Laird. People saying he's going to play forward. Well, he kicked 2 behinds, so that's something. But definitely did not play as much forward as what we thought. And a few of these other players from the Crows kind of suffered.
Sorry, I'm trying to get the DFS. He actually had not a lot of CBAs, crazily enough, this week. If we pull up here, Rory Laird. Come on.
Just have to be careful of the buys. That's probably about it, mate.
After the buy, Cheese. After the buy, go full send it, bro. He had 53% CBAs. 53%.
DPP's coming, Joe. DPP's coming.
Bro, please, Lord, have mercy on us. Forgive us our sins and bring us Rory Laird in the forward line. Beautiful. Matt Crouch, 114.
Yep.
You'd be very pleased with that.
Another one alongside Holmes who are around that 490K mark that people are very, very happy to run in their teams.
Yep, 100%. Rankin, 97. Again, he enjoyed some time up the ground. Well done to him. Jordan Dawson, I'm so disappointed. But as I said in my team review, I think this is absolutely a floor game. 9 clangers and 57% efficiency is not Jordan Dawson.
Anything to drop his price for me, I'm very happy.
Yeah, shut up. Anything else, Rochelle? Rob in the ruck. We said don't go Rob.
I had Sam Berry in my team, so I was happy with the 80. He did not look good early. Just saying, he did not look good. I don't know what happened. Time on ground's not the best either. I think he was stuck on the bench for a little bit of time. But I'll take the 80 for a 220K player.
Yeah.
You won't get 4 free kicks every week.
Yeah. If Tuke is a potential keeper, should I go him over Hogan for Nick?
Sure, do it. You're going to spend 100K, though. That's the only problem. So you're going to bank 90K or spend 100K. That's the only issue.
A lot of money. We get to Melbourne v Bulldogs. Sorry, guys. If we're rushing, it's because I do have another commitment after this. I will be on the Pomby and Oz channel talking everything round 1 football. So if you want to see more of this loose unit tonight, head on over to there. Now, we start with Max Gawn. He freaking pulled my pants down and slapped me silly. Well done, Max. Dominated as expected. I thought English started really hot and was definitely better early, but then he copped some friendly fire as he was moving into the back line, which I think slowed him down a bit afterwards. Plus, Melbourne, more match fitness. They played last week. Bulldogs first hit out in 30-degree heat. It was really hot. So Melbourne had the advantage over the Bulldogs, who started hot and then wilted away. And that, to me, screams incredible for both English and Bont, that if they start the season slow and tired and still pulled out a 119 and a 126, you guys better watch out. If you're a non-Bont owner, you're looking at this and you should be nervous, because if this is how he's starting the season in the warm-up, you watch out. He is going to pump some incredible scores. Really happy with these two. And I'm sure everyone was really happy with this guy as well.
Yeah, a few people like yourself, Joe, who went English instead of Gawn, obviously got punished a bit this week. But outside of that, very, very good game. Maybe head over to Melbourne first, where we spoke about Max Gawn, how good he was. Jack Billings. What's this guy been doing as a sub in the round 0 game? Because it was crazy. They were talking about his game today, and I think there was like 15 contested marks and then a few other non-marks, and Billings was everywhere. We've spoken a little bit, Joe, about, hey, having to get Billings in your team. Is this just a one-off? Can we jump on him at 240K knowing that he's going to go into price rise next week? What's happening?
I'm very happy selecting him.
I
That
know you're
low
changing your
4.
team around to actually get him in.
Oh, I mean, if we're trading Fisher out, Fisher to Billings seems like a really easy way to go about it. So yeah, I'm very happy for Cheese Scotty. But yeah, I'm very happy to go Billings to get him in instead of, for example, a Fisher. He's just used the width of the ground so well. 15 marks. They looked for him, and you can just see because they love him kicking the ball. And with the width of the MCG, he found the space and he used the space really well with some decent disposal efficiency. And that is a kick to handball ratio that is straight from the gods. 20
Looks
kicks,
good.
3 handballs. So yeah, Billings, you're in my team. Plus, he's playing MCG again this week against the Hawks. So Billings, you're in my side.
Yeah, just hope he can keep it up. I'm really happy with Petrarca. Obviously, didn't select him, and Clayton Oliver as well, 105. So should drop in cash a little bit, but just good seeing him running around, Joe. He didn't have the best time on ground as we kind of expected. Obviously, not having a full preseason and whatnot, but Melbourne was a lot better having him in the team than not in the team.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, he's not going to drop in price as much as we sort of hoped he would.
105, another 105. Good, 600K ish. Definitely doable.
Where is he? Windsor did really well. 72 yet again. Was subbed off. But if you had Windsor, he's not an issue. He is not an issue whatsoever. He enjoyed the expanse of the MCG to do his strut his stuff. Very impressive. Blake Howes and Marty Hoare. If we're going to get 60s and 64s out of 123K rookies, look, I'm going to take it. Hopefully they both keep their spots in the team. And Howes is on the bubble. Hoare didn't play last week, so you can afford to wait a week. But Howes is on the bubble. He had a 91 last week, a 64 this week. So if you don't get him, you're going to miss him. He's going to go up in price. So I think if you don't have him, get him in.
His ceiling is probably that 64 to 60 range anyway. So last week it was very inflated. Obviously, a lot of us jumped on him being the round 1 team. But as you say, Joe, if we can get that out of him every week, both of them just save our life. Like him and Caulfield, maybe not as much. But Gibcus is out. Reed's probably out. A lot of people started both of those. For us to be cool, we got 2 guys we can field every week and be confident. Rookies look better in good teams than bad teams. So they're going to get a lot of that ball.
Yep. We have the Hoare House. Hoare House in full swing on our fields. Bont and English has sort of spoken about them already.
Bramble's a bit of a tease, but I think it's relevant.
I mean, Buku Kamas did all right, 51.
Yep.
Obviously, a lot of defensive effort. I thought he was matched up on a really tough opponent every time. It was on Ben Brown, which was a real mismatch for him. Ben Brown's way too big and strong. So Kamas had a tough time with it. But, he liked to get involved in the play a bit. He did present, had some clean ball use, no clangers to his name. So well done to Buku. Hopefully he keeps his spot in the side. Nick Caulfield, a 49, not great. Not great at all. If you can afford fading him, then I think you're probably better off fading him, I think, at this point. And then Sanders, unfortunately. Sanders, like Bevo's Bevo. Just seriously, he can get pissed. He's just piss off. Just piss Bevo off. Hopefully he gets sacked middle of the year and doesn't last out the season. So, but yeah, Sanders, hopefully his confidence isn't shot. 15 disposals, 7 marks, which was really good. Hopefully we have a strong bounce back next week without him being subbed.
Yeah, someone said that he gave away like the 50 meters and then they got a goal out of it and that's why he was subbed. Obviously, there's no free kick on his stat sheet, so I'm not sure how correct that is. But yeah, Bevo just is a pain and really hurts Riley Sanders as well. If there was a few other players who, were 123K that you wanted to get in, you can actually get some money off downgrading Riley Sanders next week. So something to watch out for there. Like if Sanders does this again and Dempsey goes 100, like I'm happy to do the swap. I'll bank 50K and gain a bunch more. So something to watch out for. But Harms is out for a week, so glad we jumped off that one there.
Harms is so shit. All right, we then move to Port versus West Coast. 24 behinds. I have
Soldo.
not seen. Yeah. I have not seen 24 behinds in a long time. That is very, very inaccurate.
Yeah.
No.
Ivan Soldo did really well. Someone that not many people have jumped on, but 125, I think he did quite well in the preseason game as well. Sucks to be Jordan Sweet that you've made the trip over from the Dogs and you've relegated to BFL again, but it is what it is. Zach Butters had a great time. Probably could have done a bit more in Supercoach, but we'll take a 117. Same with Rosie. Houston definitely was on 80 or something at three-quarter time. Almost at halftime, I think. And then 114. So maybe I did the Jubilees on him as well. And then Ollie Wines, I was not happy with Joe. This guy just kept spending time on the bench. It was just like, cool. I think he's too big for the Heat. Like his body is just too big. He was jogging around and Adelaide over what? 94 is not great.
No, it's not. Not against the West Coast Eagles. You were definitely hoping to get a bit more. I think you wanted 105 out of him, but hey, you got 94. It's not too bad. But look, he's not a failed pick, I don't think, by any stretch. And Jackson Mead. Hey guys, you enjoyed the Jackson Mead selection? Keep asking me about Jackson Mead, guys. I'll keep telling you the same thing. All right, we go to West Coast. Elliot Yeo, 96. I don't know. For his price, I guess it's okay, 447, but yeah, having an injury risk player to only go 96, probably not the best. Pretty happy with Harley Reid. Started on fire, but he is a contested ball winner. He's going to play around the ball, and I thought he did really well against a tough opposition. So Harley Reid, well done. You're keeping a spot on my field. Congratulations. Really happy with him. Anyone who thought about fading him, I don't know what to say to you. And that's about it for West Coast.
Not too bad there.
Well done, Campbell. Shitter, you shit. All right, we go to the last game of the round. Caleb Sarong, the dude's a superstar, best player of the round. He had, 100%. I think he had, did he have 25 disposals at halftime? Something ridiculous.
Yeah, like maybe 29 or some crazy number. I know they were talking about, it's going to go to 50, and he almost got to 50. So I almost had him in my starting team. I would have loved it. No complaints from me, but it is what it is. We'll take it. A lot of people are jumping on him. He might not do something similar against North Melbourne this week, but he looked very good. And he's only 623K-ish, so it's hard to ignore. Luke Ryan as well, definitely locked in alongside Houston as a top 6 defender. Every year, same thing. And then Luke Jackson, people jumped on him and, can't complain with the 113. Didn't look great at halftime and then came back.
I think he'd be a bit disappointed, to be honest. But then again, he does have, especially if he's going to be, he did have 25 at halftime on your cheese. But Jackson, you better hope, you're really going to have to hope that Darcy's out for a long time. Nat 5, 103. Look, if you own him, congratulations. 3 free kicks to go with it. Maybe you start the injury risk, as I've always said. But I'm not willing to risk something which I believe is a foregone conclusion. So well done to those who own Nat 5. He definitely rewarded your faith. Andy Brayshaw, again, playing on a wing. Not great. 102. They absolutely shellacked Brisbane. So I wouldn't expect this sort of scoring all the time. Hayden Young, look, I'm actually going to keep this guy. He had only the 70 points. 95 Dream Team, 95 Fantasy, 10 tackles. And it wasn't for the fact that he gave away so many free kicks and a 50-meter penalty. He would have done a lot better. So I have more faith in Hayden Young because he has other avenues to score outside of disposal efficiency. He just killed his early point generation with those early free kicks. Jeremy Sharp, 70. Wonderful, wonderful selection. We've been raving about him in the preseason about how he's their best runner. And I think he's got that wing spot down pat. It's his. It's his and his alone. So I'm not getting 5, Paul Allen. I am not trading in someone who's going to get injured any minute. I'm not doing it, Paul. I can't do it, mate. Especially with all the injuries at Fremantle. They're all dropping like flies, and it just feels like one more is going to happen next week. So I'm not going to go that way.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one. You don't want to injure yourself too much. And versus North Melbourne, we're going to tackle Fife. You can't exactly run away from us. So
Yeah,
I think
it is a worry. It is a
yeah,
worry about Young's role changing, but
it
from
actually
what I
makes it
can
better.
tell,
Makes it
Frio
better.
Tragic, Dan the Frio Tragic, he's obviously a Frio supporter. He does think that they do have people that can come in to replace the players. Someone can come in from McDonald's. Cox was playing as a forward anyway, so it's not too big of a deal. I think that I do think that Young is still going to be a fine selection. Even if he does play back, it might only be for a couple of weeks, and then he will return to the midfield anyway. Joe Blow, what show are
Like
you appearing on
now.
tonight?
That's right. We'll finish
I
Brisbane.
haven't received the link from Pommy just yet, so I'm going to be on Pommy and Oz's channel tonight. So I haven't really received anything from him, which is a little bit surprising, but it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Hayden Young could be helped with that. Maybe he goes back to a midfield, so maybe he goes back to a half-back role, or give it another week. He's not going to give away 4 frees and 11 claimers, hopefully. Hopefully not.
Correct.
Harris Andrews did well. Josh Dunkley's a little bit of a worry. You'd think maybe with Neil out, he got pushed into a more accountable role. But if you had him 113, not too bad. Joe Danaher is not Joe's favourite and took a couple of not nasty hits, but definitely took a couple of hits. McCluggage, not great. And then Jared Lyons, who a lot of people might be jumping on as well. So, yeah, he did. I'm going to say Jared Lyons looked better in the first half than the second half. I think he ended up first half at like 50-odd super coach and a little bit worried. But for him to come out with the 81, I'll just take Sam Berry for that price.
Oh. All right.
Or
I've received the link. So I do have to head on out.
All right. I don't think there's anyone really relevant from Brisbane anyway, so that's all right. I'll be on, guys, for the next 20 minutes or so. Happy to pump out some questions if you guys have them. So chuck them in the comments. Remember, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And Joe, we'll see you. We've got a few things coming out, Joe, so we'll do some recording tomorrow.
Yes. All right. See you guys in the next one. Enjoy the rest of the stream.
Catches. All right, guys, pump out those questions. I'm probably going to be on till about 9:20 or so, and then we'll head off. So, Big J, am I keeping Hogan? It looks like it. I don't think I'll buy flip. I think a few people are here to buy flip. I think with Hogan, I'm going to at least keep him till around round 7. So if we have a quick look at Hogan's fixture, let me just pull up GWS. One sec. So if I do this, I'll be the commander man today. Present. Yeah, so if we look at Hogan's run, you guys can't see me. That's all right. Cool, we'll do that one. If we have a look at their run, so we go matches, fixture, and then we go to team. Oh, I think GWS is really going to be one of the trickiest teams to play against this year, and they're my pick for the finalists. So if you haven't already, I think it's definitely worth putting some money on him. So this week, Eagles, cool. Okay. Then he has a bye. So after the bye, the Suns, I don't think he's going to have much trouble with the Suns. Potentially the Heat, but it is the gather round, so it's probably not going to be too bad. No Webster. St Kilda's backline's not looking the best. Carlton, hopefully Wiedering's back, but potentially not. And then round 7 against Brisbane. So I just don't think he's going to have that much of a bad run, at least till round 7. I think after this, Sydney's not that much of a big round either, and it's the derby, so could happen there. Essendon, cool. The backline's not great. Hopefully Ridley's back. Yeah, Hogan's got quite a good run, and the good thing about Hogan as well is that, as we said in the stream, they've got Hogan, they've got Cadman, they've got Riccardi and Brown who all play. You can't mark up on all of them. And because of that, I think he's just going to be, I think he's going to be great. Hopefully we'll see kind of where he goes with his scoring. But for me, I'm going to keep him as long as he keeps scoring until, potentially I can flip him for the best midfielder in the game. But at the moment, there's just no one else who's available. Good score, Jen. Pretty average in terms of scoring, but hopefully you've got the right players to bring in. Traded Fisher for Billings. I don't mind it. It really just depends on what happens with Billings. Round 1, so preseason, I'm going to say round 1, but really round 0 was named the sub. So just have to be a little bit careful of that. But outside of that, he went massive last week, and hopefully Goodwin's like, cool, you've locked down this role. James Jordan, hybrid type role, and yeah, went fantastic. Don't expect 100 from him again. But if he has a half decent score, let me just quickly check his break even. 1 second. Break even of 5. So if he scores a 66, he's going to go up to 28K. Like go up 28K, which puts him almost at 300. So if you get a 70 or an 80, the guy's going to be 300K next week. So not too bad. Jaden, I've already used 3 trades. Joe and I are looking to use 3 trades as well. The big thing is, and it's sad that Joe's left, but the big thing is that for the first 3 weeks, you want to set up your team for success. Don't be afraid about spending your trades. Hopefully, we don't get 14 injuries like we did last season to really derail a lot of stuff. But if you miss out on the crucial cash gen, if you don't jump up over the like round 2 and round 3 to almost like $11 million in your team, you're going to struggle over the next 2 or 3 weeks because a lot of people have some massive cash gen. You want to be doing upgrades from like round 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 onwards. Don't hold back. If you don't have one of the good players, you got to get them in. If you don't have the good mid prices, you got to get them in. It sucks. Spending trades suck. But you know what also sucks? Not being able to finish your team and upgrade your team because you didn't spend a trade to go Burgess to a Dempsey next week or even this week. So something to watch out for there, but you have to do the trades, unfortunately. I don't know, Harry. You can keep Jackson if you want. He scored a 111. So, I mean, you can put some money somewhere else and maybe go Fisher to a Hogan or a Heaney. But, yeah, don't trade Jackson just yet. Hogan in. This would be the week to do it. It sucks that you missed out on the 165, but you'll get a half-decent price increase next week. And at the very least, price increase this week, week 3 off, round 4, he's got a good team as well. So, you know, you're going to get something out of him. I would keep him till about round 7. At that time, you can probably offload him for a 600K midfielder. So something to look at there. 400K to 600K with some monster scores in the middle. Looks good for me. Nice, Jaden. Worth trading Fisher for Heaney. Look, I came into it and I didn't pick McKercher because I thought Heaney and Sheasel and a few other players would be taking a lot of the points back there. It really seems like Fisher's the one who's been pushed out a little bit. At the moment, that 50 doesn't look good. And if we look at his, let me just check. We look at his break even. He's now got a break even of 92. So the fact that we picked him to be a good cash gen player means that the break even of 92 is going to be really hard for him to beat. If you don't get rid of Fisher this week, you have to get rid of him next week. It's not going to make you money. It's probably going to go down in cash. And you could end up with another sub 60 score this week, which is pretty difficult for a lot of people. So good score with Heaney, bad score with Fisher. I know which one I'm going to do. Yes. But it is best 18. And with Harley Reid and a few other players, I can swing a Darcy Wilson and some other midfield forward players into positions. Hopefully I'm okay. I think the week that I worked it out, I have 20 guys playing instead of 23 or 22 on field. So best 18 still works out okay. There you go. Jonas is saying, get Hogan. Yeah, and that's what I was saying, Benji, before, is that Hogan runs up and down the ground and isn't just used as a key forward. He's transitioning the ball and kicks to his forward plays as well. Oh, Travis, mad score, bro. You got 70-odd points more than me, so fantastic there. Traded Martin to Gorn using Flanders and moved Jackson forward. Yeah, works out nice. Yep, you have to be aggressive. That's the big thing. If you lose all your cash gen in round 6, 7, 8, 9 because you weren't aggressive early, cool, you've got 3 more trades. But I've got a team that's worth like $1 million more than you. If you miss out on all of Jordan, Billings, Fife, probably Bonner, potentially Sam Berry, Massimo, maybe Zach Williams in your team, you're going to really struggle, guys. Don't miss out on them. Spend those trades, spend the boost. It sucks. But unfortunately, we didn't make the perfect starting team. And even the guy that got 2,500 this week didn't have the best team either. So something to look out there for, but yeah, it is what it is. Sorry, Ian. 15-year-old son beat you. Unlucky, mate. Do I think Phillips will be a chance with Sicily out for a week? Potentially, but that doesn't say much about his job security, does it? If he's out because Sicily's out, so he's in because Sicily's out. You really don't want that to happen. You want him to be in and playing a lot more. So I wouldn't go down to him. If you've got a Reed and a Gibkiss, potentially Caulfield or Dean's the way to go. I'd probably jump on Dean with Murphy out for a long time, but he also has an earlier buy, so something to watch out for. Yep, there you go. As Yaron says, yeah, and that's the thing for me too, is that the toss up for me, and there's a reason why I made my, hey, this is how my team went, and then what I'm going to do with my team video separate. Let me know in the comments and let me know on the video, hey, look, do you prefer it that way? Or do you want me to do like what Joe did and put it all together? Because I don't know what I'm going to do this week. I've tossed and turned and figured out a few different things, and people are saying different strategies and whatnot. I know which players I want out. I know which players I want in. But it's really just, do I do it this week? Do I do it next week? So something to toss around with. And the beautiful thing about it is you can make a video on Sunday. We don't have to lock out our players till Thursday, Friday. So you can mess around with a few different things there. Now that Joe's gone, Martin out. Paul, that's a bit cheeky. The tricky thing is with Martin is that we brought him in to be a cash cow, but also a keeper. If Martin, similar to a Fisher, is going to have a higher break even than what he can score, he's not a good player in the back line, and he's not going to make us any money. So at that point, he doesn't even become a top 8 like defender. You can get a lot of players around that price, and for 100k more, you can get some better ones. For what, 200k downgrade, you can grab a Bonner. So if Bonner's got 100, and then next week drops 100 as well, do you pull the plug and go Nick Martin to Bonner, and then 2 weeks later, Bonner's the same price as Nick Martin and actually has DPP? Really something to consider. Spending the trade's not great, but having upgrades and having cash around. Next year, if they keep round 0, we're going to understand how to navigate these early buys a lot better. But at the moment, it's really tough. And if we've got mid-prices scoring the same as premiums, mate, we don't need the super expensive players. So potentially that's the way to go. Nick Martin downgrade or Nick Martin upgrade if you've got some extra cash. But there's a lot of players who are scoring around what we think Nick Martin would score for, like, 200k cheaper. So something to watch out for. Oh, is Hogan the go over Took? It's a tricky one just for the buy round. It's really, really tricky. But Took Miller looks to be in ripping form, looks to be keeping his midfield spot. And it's Took Miller without the hair. I know we joked about it after the preseason review games, and after the round 0 review game. But Took Miller without hair is a different animal to Took Miller with hair. It's like helmet cherry versus non-helmet cherry, right? So he's on fire, 2 massive scores already. Wait till after the bye to reassess where you're at. But you could have 10 weeks of Took Miller and be very, very happy. And someone who he'll end up being 600k in 4 weeks. Can you get him in 2 weeks after his bye and dodge the 600k? Fantastic. I know I'm going to be looking to chuck some money around and chuck a few upgrades around. I could be down to like 25 trades after round 9. And that's okay if I've got a good team. So something to watch out for there. Hoops, we are going to do a video tomorrow on which players to bring in. New watch list series every week, probably coming out on a Tuesday in the afternoon. Stay tuned for that. It's going to be great. Jen, you'll have to show me your team. Send me a picture on Facebook, and I'll have a look, because there's a lot of people who aren't happy with their teams. Make sure that you've got enough cash, Jen. Everyone in your team should be making bank this year. It's not like last year where, oh, cool, my guy scored 30s and 40s and I'm happy. You can't do it. There's so many players making mass money that you really need to jump on and spend those trades to make sure you've got those players in. The biggest thing for you guys, and maybe we'll do a video on it for this week, but the biggest thing for you is making sure that you have the capacity to spend 3 trades next week without having to spend 3 trades this week. If you've identified that you've got 3 players that you need to bring into your team, let's say I've got 5 players I need. I'm not happy with 5. If I don't do 3 trades this week and say, cool, next week I'm going to do 3, we could have more injuries to rookies. We could have more injuries to primos. Maybe someone gets suspended. And now those 3 trades I was going to spend next week turn to 5 and 6. And I can't do the things I need to. Spend the trades now if you can. Get the players in, especially with round 0. Billings, Jordan, a few of these other guys who are going to jump up in cash. Make it happen now. So next week you're not complaining, oh, I've got to do 5 trades. I wish I had 5 trades. Don't do it. We're given 30, well, not 30, we're given 40 trades for a reason. Spend boosts aggressively early is what worked last year. And with so many mid prices making bank, we can almost go one up, one down that we don't have to spend extra boosts to be able to get some of these players in. So just something to think about there. But I would hate for the people of this channel to watch the video, hamstring themselves next week, and then it's like, oh, I've wanted to do 3 trades next week, but Howes and all these other players got injured. Bonk's going to be out for 2 weeks, and what do? I've got to do this or do that. Well, you could have done these things last week, round 1, and you would have been happier. I have not been to footy in Ballarat. One day I will, but I just don't like the drive. It's probably about an hour and 10, 20 minutes from where I live in the west. So, yeah, not the best. It is okay to keep Nick Martin, but don't hold him longer than next week if he doesn't look good. Right now, you don't have to trade him. But if you can go Bonner, you can go Nick Martin to Bonner and bank 210K, Harry. Bonner is going to be Nick Martin's price in like 3 weeks. That's just how good his scoring is if he keeps scoring off half back with Sinclair back in there. I know which one I would be doing right now. Bank your money. Bank your money for the early buys. Get those players in. Get as much cash generation as you can. Because you've got all these mid prices that are scoring the same as these premiums that we should have won. That's why I'm pissed off at Ollie Wines. Because this is a guy who, cool, Adelaide Oval, supposed to have scored well. Looked really good in the preseason, 100% fit. Came out with a 94. I can get a mid-pricer for 200K cheaper that can do the same at the moment. That's what's not good. He doesn't need to be a keeper or here, but I need him to make some money. Some money, please. The only problem, Jaden, is that Nick Martin might drop in price. So just have to be careful that you've got enough money. We've had times like this when, cool, after a buy, we're going to get a player in, or, oh, I just need my premium to score a little bit and Tuke Miller not to score so much. Nick Martin could have another shocker week and then come in and score like another 50, drop 30, 40K, and you not have enough money without having to make a few trades around. So just something to watch out for there. Yep. You have to. You have to trade aggressively. That's just the way it is. The early buys, especially with the best 18 in the early first rounds, we've got so many good players playing, but we don't need to worry about it. The problem with best 18 later on is that we don't have all those starting rookies at that point. Most of us at the moment, and I've said this before, right? If the one change I could make for Supercoach for next year is that the early buys aren't best 18, fantastic. Because most of us aren't loading up on 4 or 5 players from one team, or from both of the teams, apart from that round 5 buy, I think, and potentially the GWS Gold Coast buy, because it's just too easy. These early buys are so easy. Who cares? Cool, James Jordan misses a week. Heaney misses a week. Doesn't matter. You've got to be aggressive, guys. Something to watch out for, but it's what I'm saying for today. Yeah, exactly. So I don't think it's 122. Let me just check. Yeah, sorry. So it is 122. So if Nick Martin comes out and scores, let's say, a 90, Nick Martin is going to drop in money. We do not want Nick Martin to drop in money, especially for those people that are looking to grab a Tuke Miller or someone else over the buy. Yes, he could come back, but him and Hayden Young were always speculative picks. It's tough, and there's a lot of really good players around Nick Martin's price that you can go to. In the back line, you can grab a Whitfield. In the midfield, you can go and grab a Crouch today and be happy. At least that Crouch is going to make some money. It's okay to jump off bad picks, guys. Don't hold yourself to it. I'm probably going to be another 5 minutes or so. We'll see. Jaden, I would look at Tom Powell. I spoke about him when we did our North Melbourne part. Tom Powell's the one, 315K, I think, or 3 or 5K. Scored a 95. If he does something similar again this week, get him in. I think he had 50% CBAs, playing a defensive mid-roll. Looked very, very good. Almost like a George Hewitt when he first came into the system from Sydney. Guys, we've got 66 people on. If no one's going to post, I'm happy to jump off now. But another 5 minutes or so to answer your questions. Hopefully you guys have liked the stream. We're going to start up a watch list show next week. So not next week, tomorrow. I'm basically going through the players that you guys should bring in or bring out of your team. So stay tuned for that. And then our normal content throughout the year. So I did make a post, and you can let me know down in the comments. But I did make a post over the weekend that said, cool, would you guys prefer us to do the team sheets on the live stream or make separate videos with that? So seems like at the moment we might do the team sheets on the live stream just to give us some content and some things to talk about on a Monday. Obviously, Joe would be here, but it is about 2 hours worth of content for you guys. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. Any more comments? Let me see. Jonas, should I trade? Oh, Clark just looked bad. Mana saved because it's got DPP, but Clark just looked terrible. And this was a guy that scored 100 in preseason week 1, and then now has come in and scored this. He's just killed himself as cash gen for me. And for 20K more, I can grab Dempsey. That's what I'm looking to do. Do you think it's more important to go down to good rookies and get rid of Martin or Fisher? I really think it's better to do that, especially this year with so many good mid prices scoring similar to premiums. Like, not Caleb Sarong's not a good version, right? But if I've got a guy like Matt Crouch and Riley Bonner, Bonner is legitimately 200K cheaper and is scoring similar numbers. I can upgrade, I can downgrade a Nick Martin to a Bonner over the next couple of weeks who has a role, or a James Jordan, for example, who has a role, or maybe not a Lions as much, but similar players to those. Bank the cash and use them to upgrade to guys later. Yes, it costs you the trade, but it's really hard to go up, and you don't want to miss out on the cash gen. It's okay. This year is going to be the year where you guys float 200K in the bank, and you're going to be happy about it, I reckon. Yeah, Thomas is the one that's a bit tricky. Cogs and Kelly as well, but Whitfield is fantastic. Cadman's fantastic as well. So Whitfield is going to be the steal of the backline, I think. We should have stacked the backline. We didn't, but yeah, Whitfield's definitely the option there. And I am sweaty. That's what I'm probably looking at to do next week. So Martin to Bonner potentially is what I'm looking at doing. Bank the extra money. If Bonner comes out and scores another 100 with Sinclair in the team, like that's all I need to know. He's locked down that role. It's going to happen. They love him at the club, and I'm happy to cheer Bonner every week at the moment. So yeah, it's going to be crazy. Get Hogan and flick to Bonner. I'm going to keep Hogan for as long as Hogan keeps scoring, because I think there has been times when a Tom Hawkins and a Tex Walker have ended up a top 6 forward, and Hogan looks to be doing that at the moment. So stay on the player as cool as he can, because you'd hate to jump off Hogan and he has another week where he scores, well, where he kicks 6. This could really be Hogan Coleman year. He's got there close before. So, yeah. How does your league work? So we've got an open league. At the end of the season, the prizes get handed out. So for the highest ranking person, Jaden, at the end of the season, they win a jersey of their choice. Number everything, whatever team you want. You get a jersey sent to your place. If you guys get the highest weekly score, so that might be later on in the weeks, later on in the seasons, during the season where, from round 20 onwards, we're scoring 2,700 plus. Whoever's got the highest, 2 tickets to the AFL for next year. And then if you're not one of those 2 people, we go through it and we pick out a person, randomly, of course, who wins an AFL voucher. So stay tuned for that. Not a week-by-week league thing, but you're in the group, you're in the league. Should be a lot of fun. Thanks, Scott. Flanders into midfield for Martin and then Heaney F2. Potentially. It's more just depending on how much you can navigate the early buys and things like that. I know for myself, like when Heaney's got the buy, I'm going to potentially have to move him in there, maybe Darcy Wilson to the forward line, similar to when Flanders has the buy as well, and with Hogan and Tom Green and stuff. Which 3 trades am I going to use? At the moment, I'm not sure. But James Jordan and potentially Billings look like guys you have to bring in because they're just going to dump cash. So I need to do it. Harry, you can chuck us your team. Just PM the page, Centre Bounce page. You've got the link up the top. Just do that. Potentially. And that's what we're hopefully Sinclair comes in round 2. so we can make the decision on what's going to happen. It's beautiful that St Kilda does not have an early bye. So it's beautiful that St Kilda does not have an early bye, but didn't play round 0, so we can wait until round 3. Sinclair is apparently coming back this week, so it could affect Riley Bonner. But if it doesn't, mate, you're laughing. So, yeah, could be interesting. No premiums. Yep. Well, that's it. There are a few mid-prices, though. James Jordan, Billings, a few other guys around that mark that should be there. Zach Williams on the buy next week. Massimo on the buy, so on the bubble next week as well. Caleb Sarong, Dan Houston, a few other players that I regret not having. McKercher, just guys really who I wanted to keep in my team that I had enough money for. Didn't really put them in my team, and now I basically have to bring in this week. So it sucks, but it is what it is. Yep. Make that cash from rookies. 40 trades goes around quick. What's the group code? Let me just quickly check. It has been in our videos, so if you haven't seen already, Hoops, you can jump on that. Let me quickly check. So tipping comp, and our group code is 100. So jump on the leagues, 633 400. You're laughing. It's a little bit crazy, but I've seen a lot worse. It really just depends, Hayden, how much the team is. Really just depends how much the team is doing. Like if you've got no changes that need to be made in your team, do it. No worries. I would probably wait a week on Wines, but Sanders is someone potentially who, if he only comes out and scores a 60, it's not that good. How close are we to 2K subs? I think we're 1992, so eight people away. Let me quickly check. Cool, Jen. I'll have a look at that later. Agree, hate the T. Cool. I think he's like third behind in my calculations, so there's just too many. I think he'll do well. Love the haircut and the way he plays, but yeah, it's not great for me. Alrighty, guys. Well, that's us for this week's live stream. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. I'm all sweaty, but it's been a lot of fun. We'll put out a few more videos this week. Definitely one tomorrow talking about which players to put into your team, who's on the bubble, who's looking good, and then potentially which players to bring out, and some strategies alongside that, some things that we've talked about today. If you haven't already, smash the like button, smash the sub button. Let us know down in the comments how it's going. We're very, very close to 2K, which has been kind of the goal for this preseason. So hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't already, stay tuned for our live stream on Thursdays, 5:30, the ride home. It's going to be a lot of fun. Guys, here at the Center Bounce, we do the hard work, so you guys don't have to. Hopefully, season 1, round 1 has been fantastic for you. Don't complain. Don't need to panic too much. Cool, you got 200 points less than your son. Doesn't matter. It's 24 rounds this year, so it's going to be a lot of fun. See you in the next one.